Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review Season 1 of Solo Leveling. Now, I haven't done my animes of the week in a very, very long time, because frankly, once I was doing it, I was like, dude, I am not coming across enough animes that I'm enjoying enough to want to finish and actually give my anime of the week to. But for the first, Solo Leveling is a unique case for me. So, everybody knows that in Hollywood and out in the open, Hollywood, on TV, whatever, they're trying to find new things and they've been doing books. Just a lot of stories about books. Back when Harry Potter came out, Lord of the Rings, all these things. A lot of people had already read the books before they ever saw the shows. I had never experienced that. I know plenty of people who, when they watch an anime, they watched Berserk, they watched Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note, One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, whatever you want to say. They had already read it in the manga first. So, people are comparing the manga to the anime. And in my brain, I was like, I never got that. I never got people comparing the original art, the original writings, to a movie, show, or animation. And I never got it, in my opinion, because I had never read a book that got turned into a movie or a show before I had watched it. Solo Leveling is the first time I had ever read a book, well, in this case, Audible. I listened to an entire book series, and then it got turned into a show. So, it was unique for me watching Solo Leveling, because I was comparing it to the book. I'm comparing it to the book, I'm comparing it to the story. I'm comparing how the story said it went, how the story said these characters look. So watching Solo Leveling Season 1 was a very fun and unique experience for me. So Solo Leveling follows a character named Jinwoo. Jinwoo, he's in Korea. And in this world, 20 years before the events of this story, portals started opening up all across the world. And these gates started opening up with monsters inside of them. And people started gaining the ability to have access to magic and power and strength. And over time, we started figuring out how to gauge how strong people can be, gauge how kind of magic people can have. We started figuring out how to handle these portals that are opening up all over the world in different places. And the people who got power, people who can fight these monsters, go into these gates, go into these portals and close them from the inside by killing off all the monsters and killing the final boss video game style, are called hunters. But as a hunter, in the beginning, when you're first, tested as a hunter, you're given a rank. I think it's from D to S. Now, there is a rank above S, but you don't got to worry about that. It's from D to S. And D basically means you're barely stronger than a human. You're not quite human, but you're barely better than a human. Once you get past D, though, it starts getting okay, once you get past D, you literally can't be in any Olympics or anything like that, because you're slightly better than a human, but it's slight. And the main protagonist, Jinwoo, is a D-ranked hero and hunter. In fact, he has the nickname the weakest hunter in the world. Because most people who are D-rank hunters don't even participate, but he's constantly participating. Because Jinwoo he's a good guy. He's a good kid. He's a good guy. I just say kid because he's actually an adult. I think he's 22 or something like that. 23 or 22 or something like that. He's an adult. He's a good guy. He has to provide for his sister. He has to pay for his mother's medical bills because his mother's been in a coma and she's sick. So he's putting his life on the line, going into these dungeons, basically. Yeah, that's what they are, basically dungeons, and risking his life. So, this is an interesting concept, by the way, because I've read books and seen shows that take, fantasy shows about dungeons and adventurers and, guilds and stuff going in. But this is one of the first ones I've ever seen where it takes place on Earth, in the real world. America, Japan, Russia, all of this is our world. Even the depiction, now they don't get into it in the show, but I don't think this is a spoiler to say that, because I've read the books, or listened to the books, that once they, because the first season is it's half of the first book. The first book, the first season is literally half of the first book. He just got the power that will make him insane. So I'll just stick to the main protagonist. So the main protagonist, weakest hunter in the world, he goes on a routine hunt. You know, everyone knows he's super weak, and they're just like, okay, well, we'll just make sure he doesn't die or anything, and you know, maybe he'll get a little something, something. Now, how they distribute all the money and stuff that hunters get depends on how much you do. Whoever pitched in. So he's barely making any money. He's just scraping by. He's trying to scrape by, and they discover a cow. They discover a secret, like a secret dungeon inside of the dungeon. Of course, they're thinking, well, shit, we're gonna strike rich. So stupidly, they decide to go into this secret dungeon. Turns out that it was kind of a murder box of a dungeon, as these giant, scary-looking statues commenced to murdering them as the main protagonist had to, Jinwoo had to figure out the trick to getting through this. And in the end, he ended up sacrificing his life to save some of his fellow hunters. Well, now, to be fair, really he sacrificed himself to save 2 hunters, and the other 2 were assholes and ran off and left them. But I digress. He started feeling bad about it. Like, he sacrificed himself and he's going to get killed. But at the last second, something happened. Something happened. And when Jinwoo wakes up in the hospital, by the way, he had his leg chopped off and all kinds of things. He wakes up in the hospital just fine. A video game-like screen popped up above his head and asked him would he accept, and he instinctually said yes. And suddenly he wakes up completely healed in the hospital. Turns out he has unlocked some type of system, some type of video game-like system where he can upgrade himself and whatnot in many ways. He's the only hunter in the world who can upgrade himself. Now, like I say, I have a hard time talking about this because I know why. I know all the reasons why, which is why when I'm talking to friends about solo leveling, I'm like, shit, I don't know I don't know what to say because I know so much. But either way, he unlocks this system, and it makes him stronger. It makes him faster. It makes him deadlier. And at a certain point, you know, things keep revving up. He's steadily getting stronger. He's discovering things about the hunter community that he didn't want to know. Like I say, at a certain point he gets stronger and whatnot. He goes into another fucking hunt. These hunters try to kill him, and he just says, fuck it, and kill them, which was a badass moment. That was like episode, I can't remember what that was, episode like 3, but that shit was badass, dude. And when he killed those hunters, because he just like kind of realizes dog eat dog, and like these like, and there's no cameras in these dungeons. Like, I love that sequence. So we follow the main protagonist as he tries to rise through power and figure out a way to save his mother. Now that is the brief I could talk about season 1, because like I say, season 1 is really just half of the first book. So it's hard for me to talk completely about it. But Solo Leveling is a fun anime. It's animated very well. Beautiful animation. The action set pieces are fucking stunning. The second to last episode where he fights the knight in red armor is badass. It sounded badass in the book, but it even looks better. Honestly, the entire time I was watching the show, I was like, you know what? I mean, it's great looking. I love that I'm getting to see it animated, but I mean, it's not that much better than the book. That fight sequence was so badass. I was like, never mind, I take it back. And I love the main protagonist. He just refuses to be mediocre. He's like, fuck this shit. If I gotta do, I'll do whatever I need to do to be more than what I am. He refuses to accept where he is, to accept being on the lower totem pole. And that rage, that refusal, that fuels him. Like, they got that across so well, because you have no idea how powerful he'll become. Like, I'm watching this show and I'm seeing people react to this show. I'm like, you have no fucking clue. Like, it's just getting started. By the time America gets brought up, which eventually it will, bruh, man, he's OP as fuck, dude. He is. I'm just letting you know that right now. It's pretty bloody. It's kind of gory to a certain extent. You know, it's not overly gory. It's not too much. It's not overly sexual. There's nothing sexual really in it. Like, it's just kind of gory. But I'm excited for the rest, dude. I want the fucking second half of this right fucking now. But anyways, I love the Solo Leveling anime. It lived up to the hype for me. At least it lived up to the hype that I had for this book, because I love the book. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope this lives up to it. It did. I'd give Solo Leveling a 10 out of 10. Loved it, man. The soundtrack, the animation, the voice acting. I mean, it was all on point, man. It was all on point. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please be like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.